That was a lot of fun, but also way more difficult than I remember it being when I was like 23 and 24 and doing that kind of stuff all the time. So I wanted to make a quick announcement about Third Thursdays at Latham Square. Latham Square is in downtown Oakland at the bottom Latham Square is where Telegraph and Broadway meet. It's like a little corner triangle in downtown Oakland. And there's something called Third Thursdays happening at Latham Square in the summertime. And I'll be bringing out the hula hoops this coming Third Thursday on Thursday, May 16th from 5 to 8 p.m. There's live music and drinks and other stuff going on, and now hula hoops to dance around with. So if you happen to find yourself in or around downtown Oakland on Thursday, March 16th, May 16th, come on over, have some fun, have a drink, say hi, dance around. It's also gonna be my unofficial birthday, so please come out and celebrate with me. Now it's time to get moving and head over to, you guessed it, the Oaks to play some 612 Omaha High-Low. Let's go. As you can see, I am working on overcoming my fear of recording at the poker table, so I managed to capture a little bit of footage from the poker table this time. Here we are playing 612 Limit Omaha High-Low with a half kill, and I am in the big blind. We've got Queen 3 of diamonds, Deuce 3 offsuit. Not exactly a premium holding, but you know, getting in cheap from the big blind, I think it's worth it to see a flop. I'm actually kind of between folding here and calling the $10 raise that I have to call in order to see the flop. With this holding, I'm looking for a pretty specific flop. I want to see an ace and another low card in order to continue, possibly a couple diamonds, but that gets tricky because I only have queen high diamonds, and the ace high or king high diamonds could easily be in someone's hand, and I could just be putting my money in really bad to continue here. So what ends up happening is that I call the $10 I have to call, the flop comes out, totally whiff it, and I check fold. Anybody who's watching who plays Omaha High-Low, I'd be interested in seeing what you think about this hand as a call versus a fold, or even a raise. I don't know what you do. For me, I think it's between a fold and a call. So not the best hand, but also not terrible, going multi-way, and I only have to call $10. This next hand is pretty nice. I've got a suited ace and 2 wheel cards, which to me is a pretty premium holding in Omaha High-Low. The reason why it's so great is that I have a way to win the high with the suited ace. I can make a Broadway, or I can make a flush. Or I have a way of making a low with the ace deuce or the ace 4 as counterfeit protection. The 4 gives me counterfeit protection, which is really powerful in Omaha High-Low. Let's say, for example, the flop comes 2, 5, 6. Well, my ace deuce low is no good anymore because the 2 counterfeits me. It gives me a pair of 2s. But the 4 gives me a backup. The counterfeit cards can be a little confusing. It took me a while when I first started playing high-low to get used to it, but it makes sense. The more you play, the more it makes sense after a while. I can certainly do a more detailed video about counterfeit cards and Omaha High-Low. But for now, I just wanted to show you this hand and talk about why it's a good starting hand. I think I ended up scooping this pot. I at least chopped for half, but the ace deuce with another wheel card and a suited ace, I mean, that's just a really, really great hand to have most of the time. In this next hand, I started recording after I'd already called a couple bets. I think I raised under the gun with my suited ace, deuce, 3, 4. Again, another powerful hand because it has counterfeit protection. The only thing I don't like about this hand is that it doesn't have a Broadway card like king, queen, jack, or 10. I think that would make it stronger. I would trade out one of those wheel cards for a suited Broadway card instead. But ace, deuce, 3, 4 with a suit is totally respectable and awesome in Omaha High-Low. So I was under the gun, and I'm pretty sure I bumped it up. And then when it got back around to me, we got capped. It got capped pre-flop, and we were 5 or 6 ways to the flop here. the flop came out all low cards. I think it was 6, 7, 8 rainbow. And so I flopped the nut low, but part of the trick of this game is that you want to play hands that are going to scoop. So I've got the ace deuce, which is great. I have the nut low, but I have no draw to the high, which had me pretty crippled throughout this whole hand. I basically had to check call the whole way down. I let out on the turn for some dumb reason, because sometimes I do dumb things on the turn, and ended up getting a third of half the pot. What happened was that we were 4 people in the hand on the river, 4 winners, and 2 players split the high with a straight, and then 3 players, including me, split the low with the ace 3. Because a deuce rolled off and counterfeited me, there were 3 players that had ace 3. So that was a really anticlimactic hand, and one that in pot limit Omaha 08, I think is a lot easier to get away from, because it's like, dang, I have no chance at the high, and there's somebody's potting me, and there's several other players in the hand. So you kind of have to be able to get away from only the straight low hands. But here, when we are in a limit game and we're like 5-handed and it's a crazy game, I'm going to hold on for dear life and hope to get half the pot. It just didn't work out so well this time, and I ended up only getting a third of half the pot. Crazy game. Okay, so I'm going to keep this quick. I was not wanting to raise any like feminist issues in the vlog, so I'm going to keep this really short and just very brief and let you all know that I encountered a situation where, while walking back to the table from the restroom, as commonly happens since I am a human being and I do need to use the restroom sometimes. Sorry about that, you all. I'm re-recording my comment because that audio was terrible. So what happened was that I was walking back from the bathroom when I was at the Oaks, and a couple guys started making comments. They were kind of sitting at an empty table, really close to the table that I was playing at, and they were making comments about my body and things that I was trying not to hear. So I was actively trying to like tune out what they were saying. But what they were saying made me uncomfortable. Even though I was trying to tune it out, I couldn't help but notice that my body got tensed up. I was looking around the room more and just being generally uncomfortable. So I took some time to kind of calm down and, you know, kept an eye on those guys. I couldn't help but be bothered by them. I kept an eye on them. They eventually went and sat down in a poker game somewhere and didn't say anything else to me. So after I kind of calmed down, I decided to go to the floor man and ask what to do. I really appreciate that he took the time to engage with me in a conversation about it. And his word of advice was like, hey, just come to us, just come to the floor man. Come to one of the floor men and we will try to do something about it, because we don't want you feeling uncomfortable here. I really appreciate that he took the time to talk with me about it, but then he went on and said something that was really not helpful that I think people need to be really aware of. Because I was playing at a table of people that I was familiar with, one of the players, who anyone who plays at the Oaks will probably know, Grandpa. Grandpa was pretty drunk and funny and having a good time and joking around and being really silly. And so the floor man started to tell me, well, you know what, at the same time, you know, because you're talking to Grandpa and being really silly with him, I don't blame these other guys for thinking that they can talk shit to you too. And for me, that was not okay. And I tried to explain to the floor man how that sounded like he was blaming me for other people's behavior that I have no control over. And this is a problem that I think a lot of women and anybody who's dealing with any kind of harassment is confronted with far too often, where it's like, instead of recognizing what's happening to you, you get blamed instead for the problem. So I don't think the floor man realized what he was doing. I don't think he was trying to blame me. When I tried to confront him about it, he denied it. So my message is that we gotta do better. Floor men, poker players, anybody who's there, we gotta do better if we want to grow the game of poker, and we want people like women or those who have been kind of historically marginalized and oppressed to be able to enjoy the game as well. Because if I'm a recreational player, I'm just coming to have a good time, and I feel threatened when I'm in your poker room, I don't want to come back. I don't want to put up with that. This is my day off. This is my money. Why should I be paying to get harassed? And then when I come to ask for help, I'm getting blamed for the fact that I'm being harassed. So that's not okay. We all have to do better, and I include myself in that statement because there's plenty of times when I don't speak up about things and I could, or when I could help to defend somebody and maybe I don't. So let's do better, you all. We can do this. So that's going to be it for this video. Please comment below if you have any questions or comments about the hands that I reviewed, or if you want to share your experience of being harassed in the poker room or standing up to harassment. I think that having those conversations are gonna help us do better. And yeah, make poker fun for everybody. That's the way it should be. Fun for everyone. Okay, please consider throwing up a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. And I will talk with you all again soon. All right, thanks, bye.